Articulation Radio. Articulation. Salutations! Welcome to another exciting episode of Articulation Radio. I am your hostess, the eternally grateful Goddess Sage. You know how we do things here at Articulation Radio. We will kick off the top of the day's episode by taking a quick glance at the news headlines. And today's news segment is sponsored by bepublished.org.
These are three of the news headlines and events I saw today, Tuesday, April 20th, 2021, when visiting EliteValuesNews.com. Africa Oil Annual General and Special Meeting of Shareholders takes place at 9 a.m. today in Vancouver, British Columbia. Japan's hard-hit regions may slide back to COVID-19 state of emergency. And more outcry takes place in American cities as the rash of mass murders and police killings of civilians continue to inundate civilians already frustrated mentally. Those are three of the news headlines and events I saw today when visiting EliteValuesNews.com on your behalf. Be sure to head on over every minute on the hour, well, any minute on the hour, because as you know, so much happens in this world of ours, and the staff at Elite Values News makes it a point to keep you abreast of as much as possible. Be sure to check us out under any category. I am Joaquin Mann, reporting live.
Looking for the latest news? Visit Elite Values News. EliteValuesNews.com has all the latest news and information. Check out the headlines hourly. EliteValuesNews.com. Visit now.
Do you want to be published? Are you looking for a high-quality, low-cost way to be published with a fast turnaround? Visit bepublished.org to publish today. www.bepublished.org. Bepublished.org. Publish today.
Listeners, we love you, we hear you, and I am definitely glad to be here with you today on another fresh episode of Articulation Radio. Of course, we have for you in store a lot of great music as well as an interview with an author, the author of, I'm not going to even tell you. You know how I like to do you. I'll tell you after I play this song for you. How about that?
Until you've learned the meaning of
thought of reminiscing,
And how lips that taste of
tears. Ooh, is there taste for kissing? You don't know how hearts burn for a love that never lives yet never dies, until you faced each dawn with sleepless eyes. You don't know what love is. No, you don't know. No, 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 no. You wish you knew. Shoo-be-dum-dum, wet-dum-dum, let-em go.
And how lips that taste of
Tears, they ooze their taste for kissing. You don't know how hearts burn for a love that never lives yet never dies. No word. Until you faced each dawn with sleepless eyes. You don't know. No, you don't know a thing about what love is. You don't know.
ArtistReview.com. All artists need a platform. The Artist Review makes sure you have the one you need to put your work in front of your fans. ArtistReview.com. Artist, REVUE.com.
And I was all alone. Whether right or wrong, you know I'm with you, I got you, man, we gon' make it home. I seen a minute, they watch it, it ain't no breaking or stopping. I made a bag off the profit, I keep my blickers, they plotting. Whether right or wrong, you know I'm with you, I got you, man, we gon' make it home. I seen a minute, they watch it, it ain't no breaking or stopping. I made a bag off the profit, I keep my blickers, they plotting. You chose the other side. We came out through some situations, but you skated right. Some shit'll never be the same, won't let it hurt my pride. And I'm so solid with my niggas, we can't fold on nines. Just tryna make it through the day, I grip that 40 tight. I can't get caught up through the night, my bro, he lost his fight. And I can't hear the conversations, cause they burnt the vibe. It's no debate, it's no relation, cause I stand on mine. I'm sipping Julio, I think it's time I lay it down. I see my ops and best believe that I'ma spin around. Steady whipping, they be acting, please go take a bow. Know you really wasn't for me, man, don't change it now. Whether right or wrong, you know I'm with you, I got you, man, we gon' make it home. I seen a movie, they watch it, it ain't no breaking or stopping. I made a bag off the profit, I keep my blickers, they plotting. Whether right or wrong, you know I'm with you, I got you, man, we gon' make it home. I seen them live, but they watching, it ain't no breaking or stopping. I made a bag off the profit, I keep my blickers, they plotting. The love built through the mud ties. It's no need for discussions. We burn them down with they rushes. They with that noise, no percussions. I keep my distance from drama. Fly to stay from up under. All the hate beneath me do this for Zay. Know you see me in all the way. You live through me. Wish I could change some things truly, but this the life that I live. It's so hard to forgive. I'm still just taking it in. No, we started as friends, but it was deep from begin. Bro was weighing it in, and now he home from the yard. They can say I'm a sellout, cause I'm a ride for my squad. Yeah, we know he a fraud. Do it all for attention. Niggas running, chasing clout, but claim they driving in Benzes. I can't phone not to mention, she know I love her demeanor. I embrace all her flaws, you know I like me a diva. I lit the wet, but I'm told and I sip the deuce moving slowly. And I can never change focus, and right or wrong, I'm all on it. Whether right or wrong, you know I'm with you, I got you, man, we gon' make it home. I seen a movie, they watch it, they don't break in or stop it. I made a bag off the profit, I keep my blickers, they plotting. Whether right or wrong, you know I'm with you, I got you, man, we gon' make it home. I seen a movie, they watch it, ain't no breaking or stopping. I made a bag off the profit, I keep my blickers, they plotting.
PeopleWarmer.com. Book your travel today. PeopleWarmer.com for wherever you want to stay. PeopleWarmer.com, wherever you want to play.
You have a product? Let them help you increase sales. You have a video? Let them help you make it go viral. PeopleWarmers.com. PeopleWarmers.com.
Today's Buzz News episode of Articulation Radio is titled Waging Wars Non-Win. And people, you don't even need me to expound on that. But what you do need me to let you know is that, yes, on this Buzz News episode, since it is a 420, I am buzzed off of what you would expect. And we kicked off the day's episode of Articulation Radio with a song by yours truly, Goddess Sage. You heard You Don't Know What Love Is. And after that, you heard Right or Wrong by Mega Matt. Now, before I bring on the author, IG, and of course, you know, his book again is titled Cost of War in Our City's War Zone. Cost of War in Our City's War Zone. I am going to play for you Milkshakes and Popsicles by Martin Land. So head on over right now to Amazon and grab up your copy of Cost of War in Our City's War Zone by IG, and also on Facebook. Go ahead and look up Ishmael Graham is what he's listed as on Facebook. So go ahead and head on over on Facebook. Look up Ishmael Graham, ISHMAELGRAHAM. And of course on Amazon, you will go ahead and type in Cost of War in Our City's War Zone by IG, and you'll be able to grab up that book. But definitely hang tight. After I roll this cut by Martin Land, I am going to bring on the author, IG.
If you're looking for ghost writers, grant writers, technical writers, any kind of writers, go to the Writers Consortium. Their website is maryjefferson.us, MaryJefferson.us, the Writers Consortium, for all of your writing needs, proposals, grants, academic papers, whatever it is you dream of, ghostwriting. The Writers Consortium can help you achieve your goals.
You are listening to Articulation Radio. Head on over to articulationmedia.club and let us know your thoughts.
Phone lines are open right now at Articulation Radio. Call 312-899-6237. That's 312-899-6237.
Have you always wanted to start a business but can't seem to get it off the ground? Need help building a website? Contact The Conglomerate, 972-880-8316, or visit theconglomerate.work, 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 972-880-8316. Start your new business today.
Do you frequently shop online and you're looking for a new place to shop? Join the club, JeffersonTaylor.club, where models, designers, inventors, and other creators offer customers the best products at fair prices. Jefferson Taylor, JeffersonTaylor.club. Join the club. Shop today, JeffersonTaylor.club.
Articulation Radio people, we are excited to have with us today on Tuesday, 4/20, the author, Mr. IG. Some of you may know him by Ishmael Graham, those of you who follow him on Facebook, and of course for all of you who are listeners who really love realistic writing, real topics, real expressions, you know him simply by IG, the author IG, the author of the book Cost of War on Our City's War Zone. Mr. IG, how you doing today?
I am doing great, and I'm definitely looking forward to, kind of nervous, but I appreciate the people that have been following me, and I'm hoping to get a whole lot more, because like you said, I keep it simple, and
100% candid.
100, absolutely. And, don't cut it with nothing. 100 proof.
Yes, yes. And let's go ahead and dive on in. And for those of you who are listening, as you know, this is one of our special episodes. This is our Buzz News episode for the spring quarter, So, of course, for those of you who haven't already put something in the air or poured your libations, you're more than welcome to join in, But, Mr. IG, my very first question for you. You're dealing with a very heavy topic, and a lot of people talk about it, but don't really take action and stand behind their opinions on it. So my very first question to you is this. What was it that inspired you, or where did you get the courage or the willingness to sacrifice what all you had to sacrifice to get this book written and to get it published? Why? How were you able to do it, especially at a time when a lot of people, because of the hardships, were like they couldn't do what they wanted to do? So how were you able to still get this done and deal with something as heavy as this is despite everything else going on?
Yeah, it's very personal to me. And because when you first open the book, it's a dedication. And the dedication is to Lamar, Man, Dion, and Brian, who are young men that were members of our family, and I got down here like the flowers of our family, who did not get that chance to grow, all of them as the products of the lifestyle and what's going on out here in the streets, lost their lives at too young of an age, too young, and me being a product of the street life, living that life myself, was able to survive this, and I had to get some kind of grieving done through them, because it's so insane that our young black men are dying so fast, for no reason, no reason out here in the street. The oldest one was 26 years old. I mean, this ain't just people that we know, our family members know. These are people that's close to us. My nephew, I raised him as my son. He got murdered. My first cousin's 2 sons got murdered. My brother's grandson got murdered. So it behooves me to step up to the plate and say, hey, this is wrong. Something's going on here. I know because I done
somebody got to step up and, Yeah,
we got to call it for what it is. It ain't no accident. They supposed to be burying us. We ain't supposed to be burying them, And so I don't, like I said, I done lived my life, and my life dedicated now, I got grandkids myself, is dedicated to a better life for them. And if not nothing else, but to let them know what's really going on, what this thing is really about. I was
and that they have choices.
that they have choices, and you got to put it out there for what has really happened. The playbook is the same playbook that they used against us back then, and the reason why I say a war on our cities is because that's what's been happening. We just saw this movie. The movie just came out about excuse me. The movie just came out about the Judas and the Black Messiah, and that was about Fred Hampton getting murdered down in Chicago, and they didn't go in at 3:00 in the morning to serve him no warrant. They're going in to kill him. That's what the objective is. And my story starts out with the first couple of paragraphs speak on the fact that it happened here in Detroit. It was happening all over the country. When I come to find that out, Aretha Franklin, the movie's coming out about her. Aretha Franklin's father was Reverend C.L. Franklin, one of the profoundest ministers in Detroit. A good friend.
And one of actually, few people know, one of the very first ministers to actually record an album of his preaching. So really one of the very first ones to have a recorded version of his sermon. And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the style that they're used to hearing from the mega church ministers, they really are imitating Pastor Franklin, Aretha's dad. But yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Dr. King, he was a good friend of him. He patterned his sermons after Reverend C.L. Franklin. It was like I said, the first couple of chapters start out with that story. A lot of people don't know that they literally put hundreds of bullet holes in New Bethel Baptist Church, the walls, the windows, and they shot the whole place up. And it was like a siege on a church, a campaign, a campaign
and
against
when people
the
think
movement.
About the symbolism.
Yes.
For listeners, when you really think about it, I know some may say, it's just a church, or it's just a house of some members of an organization. But no, people, when you really think about the implications, when you attack symbols and organizations and things that are key to not only a community of a people, but also the culture of a people.
Absolutely.
It really is far-reaching, and it really is more traumatic than most people would think. And even like when we think about the fact that in general, unfortunately, most Americans are under the false belief that racism only exists in Mississippi. And those of us who actually know better and who, have been able to read and comprehend, have long known that no, racism, anything in America, there's not a single state, not a single city that has not suffered, and their people, black people, have not suffered at the hands of racists, as well as when you really, for people who are like, oh, well, this and that, honestly, if you go through and you really add up where most of the racist actions happened and most of the lynchings, you would actually be surprised to find it's not even in Mississippi. And you will actually be amazed to find that it is actually in one of the major cities that maybe even you live in, and that you believe because you live there, you're better off than the people who live there.
Absolutely.
I mean, just pure ignorance.
Absolutely.
So what do you say to those
absolutely.
people who believe that they're safe in these cities, and that as long as they don't live in the South, they don't have racism to deal with, and that these things that, like, even, things of the past, they don't have to worry about it because, see, they have white friends, and, they have white people and Asian people in their families, and they are currently telling people now they're standing up for the Asians. And so for those people who believe, no, racism doesn't really exist in the black community, what would you say to them to help them see how it really is racism that's at the core of many of the plights that people in the black community face.
Yeah, well, they talk about the big lie. The big lie started back then. And the big lie was always going around about that you got more of a chance here, and you're going to have a better life here, and you ain't got to worry about things once you get here. Dr. King, when he went to Cicero, Illinois, said he was more afraid being around them people than he had ever been in Mississippi or Alabama.
There in North Lawndale, as a matter of fact. North Lawndale here in Chicago, and when I moved here, I moved to that neighborhood. When I tell you, I used to tell people, I see why King only stayed 6 weeks in North Lawndale, because, baby, when I tell you 2 months of my being there, I was already finding me another apartment, and I praise the Lord that by my 90th day there, I was moving out of the place I had moved in, and I was moving into my apartment here on the east side, near the lake, near the bridge and stuff, near Indiana, near the state line. But, yeah, I totally, yes, you're right. A lot of people don't. In Chicago is one of the most segregated cities that I've been in. Not only have lived in, but have traveled to. But it's funny how all the years of traveling here, I didn't really realize, it's one thing when you travel to a place, because everybody has a Chinatown. So you're used to that. And then when you get to a place and they have, a Greek town, a Bronzeville, you're thinking, oh, cool, so everybody is being acknowledged. But then when you move there and you realize, no, and you hear black people telling you, oh, you shouldn't be going over on Cicero. Why are you going out to Four Cities? Why are you going up to Belmont? Black people aren't allowed to go. And I'm having to tell them, no, baby, you're telling the wrong one. You can't tell me I cannot go somewhere because I'm black. And for you to be saying that as a black person lets me know your family has been living like this. And I let them know, baby, no, I come from the top of people from Mississippi who not only stayed and fought, but who literally sacrificed their lives to make sure other people could vote, be free, move about how they want. So, no, I'm whole nother stock, not from the stock that ducked and ran. I'm from the stock that stayed and fought. So it's like, no. So, so what would you say to those people who are still living in fear, who really don't go certain places, and not only because of, let's acknowledge it all, not only because they feel like they can't go because whites or Asians or Mexicans don't want them there, but because even other black people who are a member of a certain group don't want them there because they grew up around them and they know where they live, and they don't want them crossing 58th Street or don't want them going past the Dan Ryan. What would you say to people who feel who are living out of fear?
Yeah, well, you know what Malcolm said, we've been hoodwinked. We've been bamboozled. We've been lied to. We've been actually turned against each other. We're talking about Chicago, 1968. So this dates me. I was in the service, and as a regular combat troop, we were trained to go to Vietnam. That was our training. That's what we were supposed to do. Go to Vietnam and fight our Asian brothers. I ended up 2 days after Dr. King. Dr. King got killed on the 4th of April. I think that was Good Friday, something like that. By that Monday, my whole unit, half my unit. Now this is a lot of people don't know this. This wasn't no National Guard. This wasn't no police interaction. This was federal troops that was on their way to being deployed to Southeast Asia. I ended up on the south side of Chicago with walking up and down the streets with this M16 being told, if your cousins, because most of my family stay in Chicago, if your cousins get out of order, then you're supposed to shoot them. You know, the fear that, yes, and a lot of people
just so you
don't
understand, when he says South Chicago, you know, that's the neighborhood Barack and Michelle not only met in, but of course we know they live just up north in Hyde Park. Or some people stay in Kenwood, you know, but it's like, no, they met right here in South Chicago, the very neighborhood I said I had moved to, that east side, the very neighborhood. So, yeah, wow.
Yeah, and see, just like at the time, I think it was right after Muhammad Ali had refused to go into the service and made that stand. I said, I'm going to make a stand too. They said, well, we're going to have to patrol the streets. I say, I'm not going. They say, well, if you don't go, we're going to court-martial you, and you might have to go to the jail or Leavenworth or whatever. I say, well, you do what you do. You know, because I refuse to walk up and down the street with a loaded gun, M16. That's a combat weapon.
Y'all know about Leavenworth. Now, y'all know when somebody threatens somebody with Leavenworth, for those of you who may not know, and again, for those of you who are just tuning in, you're listening to Articulation Radio. My name is Goddess Sage, and I'm interviewing IG. He's also known as Ishmael Graham, and he's an author, the author of Cost of War on Our City's War Zone, and that's when we're talking about people. But now, for those of you who don't know about Leavenworth, now, if somebody it's one thing for somebody to threaten you with jail time. It's a whole other thing for them to threaten you with prison. And for some people, when they hear federal prison, they think, oh, this is a cakewalk. But just to make sure somebody let you know it ain't going to be no cakewalk, you finna get pretty much the American version of Guantanamo Bay. That's what Leavenworth is, okay? So just so you know, and that's
straight time. It ain't no 9 months.
And it ain't no golf course. No, baby, no. You be
no.
prisoners in the state prison.
Absolutely.
When somebody threaten you with Leavenworth, that ain't no joke. You know, so go ahead and do your court martial because you refuse to participate in their bullshit.
They were going to court martial. Yeah, they were going to court martial me, and I told them, do what you do. You know, and I avoided, and it wasn't just me, but it was others that took a stand too, of us that was in that unit. Yes, it was black and brown. Let me tell you another thing. I want to tell you another thing. Half our units that went to Vietnam, half of them were black, brown, Native American, and Chinese, Chinese.
Yes.
And that was half our unit that were being
sent. A bunch of people who had just come out of or were still being mistreated. Because as we know, he's talking about the time during Vietnam, and we remember how Americans had that thing going where they were doing the campaign against Chinese people, calling them the Chinamen, and telling people how, so it's like, it's a lot going on with this. And we know how they did the Native Americans and them even booting people out and doing the reservation and becoming a $5 Indian. So it's a lot of shit. And we know what they did to black people. So, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, yeah.
And you know what? You know what else?
And outcasts, they group together.
To fight our Chinese brothers. To fight our Asian brothers, I should say. To fight our Asian brothers. We were being deployed to go fight our Asian brothers. Not only that, but deployed to the streets in our inner cities to fight our black and brown brothers. You know,
and I'm sure that your book,
overwhelming
numbers. And I'm sure your book, Cost of War in Our Cities, War Zone, talks about how pretty much those same things you were seeing taking place on countries, you're seeing taking place in our cities.
Right
People need to be made aware of it.
Now.
This isn't standard policing. This is military level, baby. This is war. And you all need to be aware. Or am I mistaken?
No, you are absolutely right. You know, because when they had the siege on the Capitol building in Washington D.C. recently, they didn't even send the National Guard. When we went to and I knew some of the guys that was in the units that was in D.C. And so instead of going to D.C. Da Nang, they went to D.C. they got out there and surrounded the Capitol building with armament, with soldiers, with troops lock and load, with ready to fire on whoever came anywhere near there. And our people, our black people, wasn't even thinking about seizing on the Capitol or attacking
right,
the
because
Capitol.
that wasn't even us. And that's those people who, of course, have always had their self-interest at heart, don't care about other people, those people who are actually against the very nature of the founding of this country. This country was founded as a republic, and that means a nation that follows the laws of the Most High. And anytime you get to where you're putting yourself above somebody else or doing fuck shit to people, you ain't doing God's will, and so no, and that's why they didn't prevail. And of course, people, as we know, the title of today's episode is Waging Wars None Win. And that's exactly what's going on, because anytime there is a war, despite how good someone may say their actual motive is, or how they may say it's because of God, because even we know the Crusades, they say that they were fighting in the name of God, but no, they were going around killing, slaughtering people, stealing stuff, raping women. Ain't none of that right. That ain't of God. Where's the righteousness in that? So let me ask you real quick. Now, Mr. ID, now, for people who are listening, who are like, okay, I got to get more of this guy, do you have any upcoming virtual events or any in-person social distancing events going on where they can get autographed copies of the book, or even talk to you, meet you, anything where they can get more?
Yeah, I'm working on that now. I have been at medical problems, for one thing, and I just got out the hospital recently. And I'm
thank God for your healing. All praise to God.
I'm a cancer survivor. Melanoma
and even
cancer.
That's a book. How you can get other people, because a lot of people deal with different. Some people, time they get the diagnosis, well, that's a whole other thing. So yes, sir. So when can they see you, or how can they get autographed copies of this book? I guess maybe order it directly from you there on your Facebook page.
Yes. My book consultant has that. Because the book that we was talking about, Cost of War on Our Cities, is the second book. The first book is A Tale of Two Wars. And Tale of Two Wars starts out with the war in Vietnam. And then it comes to the war in the city, where what I was just talking about. The fact that American troops were sent to the inner cities, and most of them being black, and that was our job. That was supposed to have been our job, to put down
and
the resurrection.
That adds more division among a community.
Yes,
it's like if you.
It was a war.
People,
it was declared.
Let me throw this out real quick. Detroit. One of the things that I love about Detroit, whenever I visit Detroit, I always make it a point to make it my very first stop. I have to see that fist. I love that power fist. I love I love
the power.
You're from Detroit.
The big black fist. The power. Yeah.
And of course, we know where that symbol comes from. And is it Mr. Walker, I forget Smith. I forget the name of the athlete right now. And people, those of course who know me know that, to forgive me whenever my mind happens to lapse, because I'm one I've had so many strokes to where on an MRI half of my brain is totally grayed out, and on the other half I have great strokes in there, because I actually have a clot on the aorta. And so they're like, oh, I'm going to have one major one and just die. And I'm like, yay, at least I won't suffer, So, forgive my lapse of memory, but I know that there is that Olympian, the athlete who won his medal, and it was two American athletes. One won first place, one won second place. And, of course, they had already agreed to hold up the Black Power fist, and of course, and that has become a symbol. And he went through a lot of trouble and was even outcast, all of that. But I love that Detroit holds up that fist, baby. And especially considering all the things Detroit has gone through, even the fact that there is so much prime property
Mm-hmm.
available in Detroit
Mm-hmm.
because of, the people. So what would you say for those people who are like, I'm worried about Detroit? What would you say to let them know to come and invest in Detroit, to come and get involved? Even if they're looking for a place to relocate, come to Detroit. You have excellent opportunity to get some good land at good value. You have even homes that may need a little rehab, or even if you decide to just tear it down, you can even build, because I'm sure you got people in your family who know how to do this. So, baby, you'll be amazed at how if you build a house from scratch, it's cheaper than if you pay a contractor to build it, get it financed, all this stuff. So tell them about why they need to not give up on Detroit.
They had back in the late 60s, when all the riots were rebellions, they called them riots, were going on. And they had what they call the white flight, where whites ran to the suburbs, running away from us. Yeah. Now, they can't wait to get back.
Things get so cheap and we move on.
Yeah, they can't wait to get back. They standing in line to get back here in Detroit because they know that this city is, not only the foundation of the union movement, where black middle class started, basically, where all the things that we have
American industry factory. I mean, because what city other than, of course, we know, the great divide between the North and the South back, before the Great Civil War was all about, what industry was going to bring them the most money. The factories, the industrialization, or the slaves do the agricultural work. And so, of course, ultimately, we know that the factories won out, and the main factory that, of course, in the early 20th century that really industrialized the way things are done, even outside the factory, is, of course, the Ford Assembly, which was there, established there.
Oh, yeah.
So, so, baby, So, no, Detroit still is the place to go, the place for opportunity and people. Oh my gosh! Baby.
Yeah, I retired. I actually retired from Fords. I had uncles that worked at Fords. Yeah, my sister worked at Fords. She was just trying to call me just a minute ago. She works at Fords right now. I think she got 20
and Ford
years
is the
or something
only
like
vehicle
that.
I've ever had where I can actually run. And of course, and I hate that this has turned into an endorsement for Ford, but hey, Ford, we'll be sure to send you this. And hopefully you'll be sure to put us in an ad, because Ford is the only actual car manufacturer. And I'm actually just on Thursday got car number 18. I got my first car when I was 15. Me and my sister shared a car.
Wow.
But anyway,
wow.
and I'm 47, about to be 48 here on May 21st. But anyway, so the Fords are the only vehicles that I've ever had to where I've been able to save gas during the summertime, because I don't even have to run my AC. I can just put it on the cold vent and don't even press AC, and that cold vent be blowing out so cold sometimes to where people, you can see the freaking fog during the summertime in Texas, man, when it's like 110, 115, because I used to live in Dallas. Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, but anyway, DFW, but I'm telling y'all, I'm telling y'all.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
because like my father was from Chicago, and he would always say when he came to Detroit to marry my mother, he would always say Detroit is a working man's town.
Yeah.
They go to work, they livelihood, they go to bed, they don't stay up all night, they work for their families. They had the big three here. The union was strong. Do you know that when they made this a right to work state, they knew exactly what they were doing, because the strength of the union was the UAW. If they broke the back of the UAW, they felt like they could break the back of the union movement completely. And you see now why people are making such low wages now, because of the fact that the union movement is really crippled. If it's crippled in Yeah, that right to work.
And even Texas, you know.
Yeah. In other words, In other words, you ain't got to have no protection. You ain't got to have no protection.
Yeah, it's like a person can literally fire you any reason that they want. You know, as long as it's everything is at will. I would say in summary. You know, you can quit anytime you want for any reason, and they can fire you anytime they want for any reason.
Absolutely.
And I tell you guys, I even got let go from a job before I became, fully an entrepreneur to where it was only doing work through my own companies. I got fired from a job by a black man because I would not perm my hair, but the reason was that I did not want to go perm. And that made it seem like it was a perm contract I was doing with him. So it made it seem like I didn't want a permanent job, but it was really because I didn't want to perm my hair. He had even told me he knows a lady that he can connect me to who can show me how to, do weaves and wigs to where, I can, fit in and blend into corporate America. And it was so funny because the very person he had mentioned happened to be someone I was working with on a contract through one of my companies, and it's like, oh, I know her, and it's like, no, I'm not going to be wearing wigs and weaves to fit in, but of course, we all sometimes need that push to make us step out on our own and quit relying on things that are what we were taught or convenient that really are not our path. They may be the path for others. And this is my very last question to you, because I know I've kept you way longer, but you have so much good news, but this is my very last question to you. What is there, Mr. IG, that you would like to say to the listeners of Articulation Radio that you have not yet had an opportunity to express?
Tie a rope in that knot and hang on. Because we are the answer to our problems. We gonna have to solve our problems. We gonna have to get together for, black people have always come together when they needed to, when they had to, when their survival was on the line. Hopefully it don't get all the way there. Yeah, we not only saved that, we saved them.
Yes.
The Civil War, but slavery first saved them. It's the foundation of this nation. Why is it so racist? Because of slavery. Slavery saved this country. It made it wealthy. Then when the Civil War came along, when the black soldiers took up uniform and took up arms, we saved the Union. Then along came the Civil Rights Movement. And not only did we save our people,
served as a human rights movement and the first beginning
for everybody.
Of the LGBTQ movement. Come on.
For everybody. Everybody's movement came from Dr. King and Malcolm X and them.
Right, and Mr.
So
Burns,
we always saving somebody else. So it's time for us to save us and to realize that our lives are at stake. They really want to get rid of us if they can.
Yes.
They would love to get rid of us. They done tried a few times, and now they don't even care. Who knows?
Right, especially being that so many of our own people are willing to participate in the elimination of our own people. You have to realize, being the Hue, Hueman, or that you are. You are the supremacy of being, the ultimacy of practice. You are the beginning. And best believe, baby, you are definitely going to be the end, because people don't realize you cannot remove the root without killing off the fruit. But that's
right, baby.
You do know that.
The original. Everybody wants the original. We are the original. How you going to have copies without the original?
Exactly.
The rest of the world is a copy.
And say, black people don't unify, black people don't agree. My thing is this, and I know, Mr. IG, I said, and I know I should have long let you go, but people, I'm going to have to, it may only be one song played after this, but we're going to work it out, because I honestly don't like the fact that a lot of our people are so quick to say black people don't agree on nothing, black people don't unify. I personally, that's my biggest pet peeve, because I want to know, and Mr. IG, I want you to address, because have you noticed how it seems like that pretty much is expecting black people to be unlike any people on earth, like black people expect protection from black people or something?
Yes, we got to solve everything.
Yeah, they want what group of people do you know agree on everything? Or even
that's right.
Every last one of them agree on that one thing. It ain't no, so why we gotta fucking be perfect? Why we gotta be the ones to be perfect when even the word says ain't nobody perfect, no matter what belief somebody follows. Ain't nobody perfect. So why most of our people expect for us to be perfect, and all of us to suddenly have telepathy and all be on one thought? It ain't no, so is it that a lot of black people watch Star Trek and think we're fucking collective? I mean, I'm sipping on another house. No, I probably don't know what it was. Address, will you please, as your last word, help our people move forward from expecting more from black people than what they expect from everybody else?
You know what? I was looking at the picture, I think it had Ghana or something like that, and the door of no return. Once our people walked through the door of no return and was on the middle passage for over 3 months, had to endure that, didn't know where they was going, didn't know where they was going to end up, didn't know what was going to happen, and to come to this country we didn't ask to come. Now everybody else except the Native Americans wanted to come here. We were saying, look, that's all right, we all right where we is, just leave us alone. We was all right where we was at. But to have endured all that and from the chains, and they was talking about it last night in Lincoln's thing, of slavery to the White House, not only building the White House, but being residents in the White House, and having one of the best presidents there has ever been as a black man who saw the vision of what America should be. We always keep that eye on the prize. We've always stepped up and said, keep your eye on the prize. The struggle is real. We got to realize there ain't going to be no easy walk down the street. You ain't going to get it easy. We ain't never got it easy. We don't need to get it easy. We need to work for it. We need to work for it. And earn it. That's what I tell kids. You got to earn this.
Like you're owed something. And don't nobody owe you nothing.
You don't owe you nothing. I tell these kids now, the young people, that IG, that's okay. Now, the reason why I use IG is because some of the kids and the young, I ain't going to say kids, young people in the neighborhood say, yeah, my uncle said you a real OG. I said, no, you know what, original gangster. So no,
right.
No,
right.
I'm not
like, no,
I'm not no OG. I'm an IG. I don't want to even go back there. Yeah, I ain't even going back there.
Right.
Because it wasn't no fun then.
It wasn't as great as I am.
And I ain't trying to promote it. We got to let that go. This is a new day, a new dawn. Hey, this train done left the station. We got to get on board. We got to get on board. Like the impressions say, get on board. The train is coming. Yeah. And this time, last time we got derailed. The train jumped the tracks, got derailed or whatever. This train is not going to get derailed. because there's too much at stake. Not
Yes,
just
the
black
people-
people in America. The whole world is at stake. We got evildoers. Dr. King, I remember Dr. King
Say that, baby.
he was
This
saying,
ain't just a war against people. You know, this is literally good versus evil. We're in the middle of it.
That's right. We always there. You know,
Come on.
Dr. King said when John Kennedy was assassinated, he said he never knew that such evil existed in this nation. It's a man of peace, and look what they did to him.
I'm wondering how he could be surprised based upon the history prior. You know, so why would it take the death of a white man for you to already know the depth of the evil and atrocities of these crackers?
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, really?
Stokely Carmichael said that Stokely Carmichael said that when Dr. King was assassinated, the war was literally declared on black people.
Mm-hmm.
And that was true. You know, COINTELPRO came along in 1969. Dr. King was killed in 1968. The war was declared. COINTELPRO, the secret war, Hoover got a hard on.
And it hasn't
killing
ended,
black
you
men.
know, so people do what you need to do to make sure that you protect your loved ones. Make sure you show and express more love and protection to your loved ones. Everyone always has gone through enough. Why would you add to it? And I understand you have frustrations, you have problems, especially with people not trying to move forward but just want to dump their complaints. Let them know. It's time out for just enumerating the problems. How about for every problem you come up with, you come up with 3 different solutions and you act on at least each one.
Absolutely. Always
are doing our part, then it can't help but improve the whole thing for each and every last one of us. We are
absolutely.
Black people keep going down and down in numbers. No reason for that. And we know there are murders, there are abortions, there are all these different things. And even all those things can change because, and especially, in my opinion, no matter how much people want to admit that, yes, this society is finally acknowledging and caring about women and how women feel, we are still living in a patriarchal society. And men still
of course.
Everything is still based on men, and men still need to take charge, do what you're supposed to do. It don't matter. If your woman ain't in check, that's your damn fault. You need to let her know what it is you're supposed to do in order to qualify to be in your life. Just like women, if you feel like your man in check, your fault, because you're supposed to let him know what you require in order for him to be around you. And you have to
absolutely.
Your kids. You know, so no.
That's right.
Speak about their standards. Be willing to go without any kind of company just so eventually you can have the right presence in your life. And no excuses. The life that you're living right now is based upon the choices that you've already made and the decisions you've made. Go ahead and do better. Teach your kids better. And otherwise,
that's right.
To do that, don't be mad when somebody in these streets decide to go ahead and eliminate that child that you did not erase so that they can protect themselves and the rest of us, okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So much for letting them know that the cost of war in our cities, war zone. They need to grab that. They need to understand.
It's a heck of a cost.
From the perspective, but also from the global perspective.
Absolutely. And you know, I got that
here anytime.
I got that the name for that book, for this book from my son-in-law, and my daughter and is a product of a mixed marriage. You know, he's a white guy, and he knows what's going on. And he said, "Why don't you just call it cost of war? Because there's a lot of cost that's involved. It's not just one thing. It's a lot of cost that's involved, and we got to go and scratch it off one by one. You know, we got to take this bear by the hand. tiger
and
by the
decide
tail.
whether you're willing to pay the cost, because as you know, like I love saying, here recently to people, hey, you can either pay the cost to be the boss, or hey, it's free to watch. For what you're gonna do. So what you gonna do? People, be sure to stay tuned to today's episode, and we'll be sure to squeeze in a song for you real quick. But in the meantime, head on over to Amazon.com, as well as whatever it is that is your favorite book retailer, and tell them that you want to get Cost of War on Our Cities. Warzone by RG. Cost of War on Our Cities.
I just want to say one more thing.
Sure.
I just want to say one more thing. I talked about the boys, the young men that died that were murdered in our family. And I told my brother, I said, we can't go through this again, man. We're not going to bury no more of our kids. Man, we're not going to bury no more of our kids. Crying ain't enough.
Right.
Crying ain't enough.
Be sure to get life insurance. Keep life insurance on each and every family member, because don't have it where situations arise and you're doing a GoFundMe or scraping money together. No, get life insurance and get a policy that you would be able to even borrow money against, because if you're not able to benefit right now from that life insurance policy, that means you really just have death insurance. And in order
that's right. Just to bury my ass.
Make sure that it's right, and to give the family something to pay off your damn debt. So how about instead of receiving debt, you make sure you're debt free as soon as possible.
That's right.
Quit splurging.
Don't put that burden.
You're able to be buried based on that lifestyle you living. Especially if you're high risk. Should nobody have to bury your ass? That stuff that you do, you already have it set up where you should be able to bury your damn self.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Tears ain't enough. That's what I got here.
Right. Not at all, because grief lasts for innumerable years.
Yeah.
And even
you got my hopes and prayers. You got my hopes and prayers ain't solving the problem.
Yes.
Say,
and our
you got my hopes and
condolences
prayers.
not only
That
go
ain't
out
solving
to
the
you,
problem.
your family, and your loved ones for the losses that you've suffered, but I am thankful that you all will forever be not only cradled in the comfort of the peace that that your loved ones are now enduring, and the far travels that they're able to engage upon, but also that you each will be able to be cloaked in their love. And that at any moment that you think of them, only the good memories will be able to survive, and not the way that their lives were taken.
Absolutely. Because
and people,
we can't keep burying our
you
kids.
and each of you as well. May y'all be with you each, and I love you all. And stay tuned. I have something nice rolling for you. How about that?
Yeah, beautiful.
Would you like a motivational speaker to come to your company or organization to speak to your group? Visit lifespurposeministries.com. That's lifespurposeministries.com.
If you'd like more information on how you can be an eyelash artist, call us at 314-560-1641 or 888-585-LASH. LashingOutLoudInc.com.
This shit make you wanna holler. Can't be a goddamn follower. Undivided love, but a follow, yeah. That's real loyalty, honor, son. Don't make the game come a murder, yeah. What is my money making manager? I need re-up like I'm tipping her. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Pour me some more in my double cup. Picking a condom, no eat it up. Just get from back, gotta bustin' up. I know they loving my downfall. Remember when standing up high tall. Till I'm the baddest snap underdog. Dig up a hole with you underdog. I crooked letter, I. Twice I want that, I. Any nigga playing with me, you can fucking die. Never try your luck without those wings, you can't fly. Stop getting high off your own supply. Look me in the eyes, tell the truth, who's the lie? Only vouch for a nigga real to the sky. Why they sell out they kind? Why?
Chasing rain.
The hard life is hard to survive. Haters don't wanna see you alive. Stuck in reality, no longer dreaming. Trying to get them here, hit them suckers scheming. Most think I'm here to just entertain. My rep is what I'm trying to maintain, but most of my homies in jail or slain from trying to ride life in the fast lane. And I lost a couple overthinking plain. If you're from the streets, I feel your pain. It's too much to bear. Man, I'm going insane. Feel like my life is going down the drain. Money and power is what I want to gain. There's no sunshine, it's always gonna rain. So I picked up the bat and stepped to the plate. Gotta push away all the cries and hate. It hurts to be in this mind state. Bullets flying, fake on the line. Can't trust your girl cause she crooked too. Hard to believe this life's true, there's no way out. Gotta find a way, gotta make it out. Trying every day. Constant struggle, no easy days. So I'ma stay focused till I find a way. Tryna ride life in the fast lane. And I lost a couple overthinking plain. If you're from the streets, I feel your pain. It's too much to bear. Man, I'm going insane. Feel like my life is going down the drain. Money and power is what I want to gain. There's no sunshine, it's always gonna rain. So I picked up the bat and stepped to the plate.
Chasing rain.
I Know You Like That Forever by Sean Lux. Up next is Nights Like This by Mike featuring Ice the Jeweler, and that's going to be followed by Mr. Magic by Erica Johnson.
Articulation Radio, thanks you so much for listening. So head on over right now to articulationmedia.club and let us know your thoughts on today's episode. In the meantime, we're going to keep the show rolling for you. Want to buy stocks, jewels, real estate, or other high-end items? Would you love to be able to contribute to charitable initiatives but cannot do these things with the money you currently have? Join Regal City Investment and Social Club, where you can pool money each month with other investors to make major purchases, give to the needy, and possibly turn a profit. www.regalcity.xyz. Become a Regal citizen today by joining Regal City Investment and Social Club. regalcity.xyz.
Nights like this, I wish that raindrops would fall. Yeah. Nights like this, I wish that raindrops come pouring down, down, down.
Even in my weakness, I still put up a fight. Even though I seem happy, I'm still tortured inside. I'm always fucking depressed and turn my back to the light. Nobody understands my thoughts and the fucking pain it ignites. To be honest, my life has never been diamonds and gold. The warmth has been ripped from my heart and now it's cold as a stone. I never had no support, I'm making moves on my own. I'm so sick of all these fake niggas calling my phone. When you look at me, nigga, you looking at elegance. When you talk to me, you better show respect like a president. When I walk, I make the ground shake like I'm rolling with elephants. Western Mississippi, that's my unofficial residence. I'm screaming, fuck a hater, I'm only chasing my dreams. Don't get confused by the hype, cause it ain't what it seems. These niggas is lame, say number druggies and fiends. When they come to my city, they know I'm the king, nigga.
Nights like this, I wish that raindrops would fall. Yeah. Nights like this I wish.
What you wish?
That raindrops come pouring down, down,
baby. I used to do it. Say this life that I live. I got a wife and some kids. I got a grind and some beer. Hard times and got real. When you ain't got it to give, and your main pun to turn. Like you shot at this wheel. Why you stocking the field? Growing crossing the field. Man, you vote them white folks. Call the cops and get killed. Don't give a fuck who you is. Shoot up the city for kill. Call a dude to miss skill. I hit the boot just to chill. I like to drink and no pills. I pass my stash in a weed. She one classy bitch. Smash the gas in the beat. Real niggas all in my clique. You plastic bitch, you don't fit. I hit a lick and I dip. I taste a sip of that feel. You got the drip, I just spit. Throw in your hands of this deal. You missed the fake Dr. Phil. You ain't spent what I feel. In this world full of thrills. Wanna heart me some fears. Only night like this. I got a face full of tears. Cry, baby.
Nights like this I wish that raindrops would fall. Yeah. Nights like this I wish that raindrops come pouring down, down, down. For dear road.
Are you single and seeking a lifestyle club that's centered around you? Go to sittingroom.xyz to register today. Sittingroom.xyz.
3, 4. Mr. Magic, where have you gone? Mr. Magic, where have you gone? Mr. Magic, oh, 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 you tell me. He put his hands on me and kiss me tenderly, and help me say I'd give up anything that I possess just to have him tonight. Mr. Magic, where have you gone? Mr. Magic, where have you gone? Mr. Magic. I broke down and cried. I broke down and cried over you. But just like magic powder, you took one move and now I don't know what to do. Mr. Magic, where have you gone? Mr. Magic, yeah, where have you gone? Mr. Magic.
Weddings are expensive, but your love is worth it. Go to marryusnow.us to book the Minister of Love to officiate your wedding today. The fee is only $200 if your wedding is in the city of Chicago, and there's only a small fee to get the Minister of Love to travel outside of Chicago to your wedding location. Book the Minister of Love today. Visit marryusnow.us. That's marryusnow.us.
Why does it have to be? All good things must come to an end, and this is the end of this great episode of Articulation Radio, hosted by yours truly, Goddess Sage. I encourage you to not be a forgetful listener, to apply the wisdom that you've received today and take action and assist the cause that you heard about on today's episode, as well as be sure that you take action in your own life on fulfilling not only your own dreams, but also helping improve the lives of the people that you know. And as we always say here when we close out the day's episode, the staff here at Articulation Radio loves you. We thank you. We look forward to seeing you, talking to you, playing your music on an upcoming episode, as well as running your ad for your business or product on an upcoming episode of Articulation Radio. So be sure to head on over to articulationmedia.club right now. Re-listen to this episode, as well as listen to past episodes, and make sure that your ad is played and your songs are spun. In the meantime, you keep being a doer, keep being a move maker, and keep making things pop, baby.